As business owners, we spend 60, 70, 80 hours a week, but then we neglect that from our family, and we don't ever put time back in our family. And so this may be you offloading work so you can actually spend an evening with your wife, an evening with your kids. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think as owners, we get to the point, like, we always have to be active, we always have to be busy, we always have to be producing. They're suffering all the time because you're bringing the work home. Like, despite owners bring the whole work home. As much as we don't want to, it always comes home.
Welcome back to Jeepin and Reel, everybody. I'm Ryan Holliday here with Greg Marthaler of S.F.Y, Solutions for You, Catalyst Group member,
yes,
supplement king of the industry, and we're excited to be at the Experience Conference here, Restoration and Remediation Experience Conference in Fort Lauderdale. Greg, tell us a little bit about S.F.Y and how your company is helping restoration professionals all over the country.
So S.F.Y, we handle supplement claims, we write claims, and we help contractors get through that process quicker. We help on the administrative lift, that is in writing the estimate, and as well as also training your own team members to do that. So instead of spending time training team members how to write estimates, you spend time them out in the field and them getting the actual new jobs and managing that side of it. We also do a lot of training. So we have 2 certified trainers, Xactimate certified, that teach Xactimate level 1 and level 2 certifications, and we also do other trainings with our S.F.Y University that we have out there. Really trying to help lift and elevate the space.
Awesome, fantastic. So I guess duplicating your knowledge is a big part of scaling your business, right?
Yes, yes it is.
How important is it for you to very quickly put systems and processes in place and take that knowledge out of your brain, put it down onto paper, down into a system and a process for other people to follow so that you can scale your business? I
think this is what most contractors struggle here in the water space.
Really?
They struggle in learning how to scale properly, and that's creating proper systems. And we can start with something simple that's been around for quite some time, and that's the accounting practice, right? When we talk about accounting, bookkeeping, and those types of things, those are really easy to systemize and get done, I think really easy to offload. And so if you haven't started in that process, and if you are an owner and you're doing your own accounting, you need to really stop and assess the value of what you are in the organization, and if you're interested in growing your company to the next level. If you're interested in scaling, that means you need to learn how to offload tasks that you're doing off to someone else, and get to the point that you could literally step away. If you were to leave your company for 60 days, what would happen to it? And that's a great fail-safe test on how well your company's doing. And it'll show you great successes as well as great failures. And then from that, you keep working on it.
Absolutely. You know, you bring up such an excellent point with the accounting, right? Because I've spoken to a lot of small business owners who know their trade, they know their craft really well, but the one thing that scares them the most out of, owning their own business is the accounting side of things.
Yeah.
Really just the businessing of it, right?
Yep.
One of the things that we're very passionate about solving here at iink is helping contractors with their cash flow and the accounting of that restoration money that's coming in from the insurance companies. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for them to track all payments coming in, going out, and make sure that everybody has that transparency. So very good point you bring up with the accounting.
I would agree, because when you talk about accounting and moving that, I think sometimes business owners, they focus too much on the data input instead of actually, your job is actually to review the data that's been there the oversight, right? We're not saying you step away from accounting, we're saying you give that task to someone and then they give you a report updating you with the facts and numbers and your accounts receivable. And that's when you call iink to help you move the cash flow. You can actually see how much money is sitting in reserves and manage it and know, like, if you're over leveraged too far or under leveraged, right? Because in business, we're leveraging ourselves all the time. Our income coming out and our expenses going back and forth, and learning how to manage that properly.
Interesting, funny story. Last night we were hanging out in the pool over at the Hilton here with some of the folks from the event and a couple of contractors that we were speaking with. We're discussing some of the challenges of scaling their business, and one of the primary challenges for the owner of the company was that he's very type A. He likes to have his hands on everything, and that's, I think, one of the biggest misconceptions is that when you are delegating a task to somebody else within your business, you're not just giving it up. You're not just, trusting in someone else to handle it. You still have the ability to review everything, and you should have systems and processes in place so that you are checking their work, but not in a overbearing manner or a micromanaging manner. So just make sure that you're keeping an eye on things, but also ensuring that it's being done the way that you put into place.
Yeah, I mean, I know for myself, I have an accountant, I have a bookkeeper, and assistant to that, right? So I have 3 people helping in the accounting process that goes through that. But every week, they send me a report. I require a couple different reports. They send that to me every week, and I review them, and I tweak those reports all the time. I'm looking in them, and I'm in, like, hey, look, I want to now also track these things. Or, hey, look, when you give me numbers now, I'd like to see this compared to this, so I understand the ratio, the percentage of this, whatever that happens to be for your business. And then you can manage more effectively, and you buy time. Like, you buy your time back in. And I know a lot of people like, hey, look, I can do it, and I've seen that all the time. But I think people forget the time with their family. Like I really do. As business owners, we spend 60, 70, 80 hours a week, but then we neglect that from our family, and we don't ever put time back in our family. And so this may be you offloading work so you can actually spend an evening with your wife, an evening with your kids, an afternoon. Like, you take off a whole Friday evening, you pick up your kid early from school and you go do something fun. You go on a hike with your kids and family on a Friday. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think as owners, we get to the point, like, we always have to be active. We always have to be busy. We always have to be producing.
You feel guilty
and you
really
feel guilty
just...
and spending time with your family members and growing them, because they're suffering all the time because you're bringing the work home. Like, despite owners bring the whole work home. As much as we don't want to, it always comes home and go from there.
One of the things we're very passionate, obviously, here at iink about is saving time for contractors. And as our company scales up and as we are launching some new services, one of the things that we're looking to do in the future here very soon is helping automate that depreciation request and submitting those supplements on the back end that they may not have even remembered to put together. Just making that easy for them to get paid through through their insurance claim process. How much do you think that would be beneficial to the industry if we can help them with a better accounting of just the restoration payments that are being made?
It would be huge. Honestly, roofing companies fold all the time. Restoration companies fold all the time because they can't manage cash flow. And it's understandable because it does become very complicated when you're newer and smaller in the business. You don't have an accountant actually helping you, because as a business owner, you think you have everything. You hire someone better than you. You hire a great accountant that helps you manage everything properly. They give you the information. You can see the actual how much money is outstanding. But more than that, you can get the speed of money moving quicker. That's where most people lose, is they forget how long it takes to get stuff moving forward. And I've been in this situation when I owned a roofing company where it takes a month to get a check endorsed by a mortgage company. And you're like, you're phone calling, you're emailing, you're FedExing, like with tracking numbers back and forth, reissuing a check, or there's 2 mortgage companies. One wants to endorse it, the other one wants the other person to endorse it first. The other one wants control of the money. The other one, like, it's just this nightmare. Then the mortgage company's like, hey, by the way, I also need proof of loss that the work was repaired, all these other things. And it's just this nightmare project.
It is.
And just getting paid. You're like, I just want to get paid.
We actually love doing that, but
just your little thing, right? Yeah, that's great.
No, that's awesome, Greg. Last question: what do you see for the future of restoration, and where is S.F.Y going to be most impactful for the future of this industry?
I see the future of the industry. We're going to have to learn to elevate ourselves. I think with AI would be a prime example. AI and what it's able to do, and the product it's able to kick out there is pretty staggering, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And
I mean,
under a minute, you can kick out a nice essay of whatever it is at high level, professional level. Like, most of us probably couldn't write. It would take us hours to do that. So I foresee us having to elevate our expertise and our professionalism to another caliber than we've ever been before. Where I think the slogan, the chuck in the truck, I think some of that's going to start dying, and you're going to have to really elevate yourself to be much more professional. You're going to have to start from people like iink to move your cash flow more effectively, to move it more effectively, and understand the technology that's coming around and be aware of what's going on in that. And I think that's where we're going to have to elevate ourselves. And marketing is going to go completely different. If you don't think AI is going to change how we market things, you're naive. Like, it's going to radically transform the marketing space, how we move money around, and all that stuff. So that's where I see is we're going to have to elevate ourselves completely.
Very cool. Folks, Greg Marthaler from S.F.Y. Thank you so much, Greg, for stopping by. And
it was great.
Yes. We appreciate you.
Awesome.
So does the industry. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to seeing you next time on Jeepin and Real.